Before starting the video, we have a question for you. Which was the first supersonic aircraft of the world? Comment down your answer. The idea of supersonic air transport was conceived by Sir Arnold Alexander Hall in 1950. He was an English aeronautical engineer, a scientist and an industrialist. He formed a committee to study supersonic transport, or SST. Sir Maureen Bedford Morgan was appointed as chairman of the committee STAC, or Supersonic Transport Aircraft Committee by Sir Arnold Hall. Maureen Bedford was also an aeronautical engineer. He is also known as the father of Concorde. Under his chairmanship, committee submitted its first report on supersonic transport in February 1956. At the time, it was known that the drag at supersonic speeds was strongly related to the span of the wing, and this led to the study of short span, thin trapezoidal wings, such as those seen on the control surfaces of many missiles, or in aircraft such as the Lockheed F-104 Starfighter or the Avro 730, that the team studied. But there was a problem with these wing plans. In experiment it was found that same short span produced very little lift at low speed, which resulted in extremely long takeoff runs and frighteningly high landing speeds. And further, this would have required enormous engine power to lift off from existing runways and to provide the fuel needed. This culminated into a horrible aeroplane that engineers can't build. At the same time, Johanna Weber and Dietrich Kuchermann at the Royal Aeronautical Establishment published a series of reports on a new wing plan form, known as the Slender Delta concept. Kuchermann's and Weber's papers changed the entire nature of supersonic design almost overnight. According to their research papers, delta-shaped wings can produce strong vortices on their upper surfaces at high angles of attack, and this vortex will lower the air pressure and cause lift to be greatly increased. Weber suggested that this was no mere curiosity and the effect could be used deliberately to improve low-speed performance. Weber noted that the lift from the vortex was increased by the length of the wing it had to operate over, which suggested that the effect would be maximized by extending the wing along the fuselage as far as possible. The plane with delta wings still have good supersonic performance inherent to the short span, while also offering reasonable takeoff and landing speeds using vortex generation. The only downside to such a design was that the aircraft would have to take off and land at very nose high to generate the required vortex lift, which led to questions about the low speed handling qualities of such a design. It would also need to have long landing gear to produce the required angle of attack while still on the runway. But the team figured out how to deal, and in October 1956, Handley Page HP 115 came out as result. There were many problems related to center of gravity, center of pressure, fuel economy, design selection, but we are not going in depth. Finally, Concorde took its first flight on the 2nd of March 1969 and entered to service on the 21st of January 1976. Concorde played a crucial role in 1973 solar eclipse mission. It was equipped with observation instruments and performed the longest observation of a solar eclipse to date, about 74 minutes. The journey of Concorde was smooth, but on the 10th of April 2003, Air France and British Airways simultaneously announced they would retire Concorde later that year. Both these companies were only companies that were using Concorde. They cited low passenger numbers following the 25th of July 2000 crash, the slump in air travel following the September 11th attacks, and rising maintenance costs. Although Concorde was technologically advanced when introduced in the 1970s, 30 years later, its analog cockpit was outdated. Airbus, which acquired Concorde, had made a decision in 2003 to no longer supply replacement parts for the aircraft, which finally led to the termination of Concorde. But after 19 years, aerospace giants are interested in supersonic transport and many of them had joined the race. Let's see when we shall see Concorde 2.0. We hope you liked the video. So, support us, subscribe the channel, share the video and like it. If you have any queries, write to us. Visit our website www.advancedtechworld.in for more interesting information, and don't forget to like our Facebook page.